Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant. Today we are at the next topic, that is how to prepare before tournaments, and we are going to discuss how we should try to solve positions. As I said before, we should try to do many positions at one go and try to follow the technique. The technique is of course using check, capture, attack, but here more importantly I feel it's to not miss enemy's candidate moves, and it is applicable for our moves as well. So we'll try to follow that, and we have got 4 positions today. Let's start with this one. Positions are not very difficult, hence it makes the following of the technique easy. Okay, so generally what happens, people only try to solve the problem. Solving the problem is practically of less use during the game because we don't know whether there is any solution. So let's get started with this, then I will explain what we are trying to do. White to play here, we can see white is quite active, so is black. Black is attacking the g2 square. Let's go into the candidate moves. At first look we see queen d6, queen d8, queen h8. And see, these are the 3 options. We will enter into that option where opponent has less moves to choose from. So variations, the lesser the better for us. So if you look at queen h8, you will see bishop c8, queen c8, kc7, 3 options. If you look at qd6, there are just 2, c8 and a8. That 2 c8 is met by just qd8 on the spot checkmate. qd8 allows again 2 options, bc8 and qc8. So white went with qd6 first because practically there is only one option, king a8. As you will do many positions this way, we will be able to filter quickly which option we should enter. But it requires considerable practice. Around 1000 positions if one has solved, he is able to identify these things at the onset only, which may work and which may not work. So qd6, king a8, and this is where many people get stuck. See, now nothing works. qd8 is met by qc8, nb7 is slow, kb7, king will have place on a6. So seeing the problem that g2 is weak, white identifies black has 2 weaknesses. One, the back rank. And we see that the bishop is the defender for us. So see, after qd6 check, king a8, white identifies the strong move qc6. After qc6, it's not this much that we should see. There is some more to it. See, bishop c6 is not possible anymore. Rook d8, qc8, rook c8 mates. So see, this is checkmate, back rank mate. It's not possible to go b takes a5. Because just see, rook d8, qc8, rook c8 mates. So now see, qc8 is forced, or any other move like see, rook g7 doesn't help here also, rook d8, qc8, c8 mate. So black goes qc8, and here again if we know, now the defender is the queen of back rank and b7 both. There comes the simple rook d8, the move which we have already found. So see, now all the variations lead to loss. B takes a5 allows rook c8 mate, and bc6 allows rook c8 mate. Rook g8 just allows qb7 mate, even rook c8 followed by qb7. So see, the position got solved pretty easily, but the objective is what? To find the opponent's moves and ours also. Let's go to the next one. So this is the second position at hand, very interesting one. White to play and win once again. White's attack is great, black is somehow trying to hold things. Just try to find the candidate moves as we did in the previous one. A look and you will know that rook d8, queen e6, rook f d6, these are some decent candidate moves. Many also suggest the move qe7, idea if g takes f then rook d7, but black can give up qd7. So we should always start with forcing moves. Since the king lacks space, the move queen e6 is very obvious, but we note that queen into e6 is coming. Many a times I suggest that just see further and then maybe we try to destroy or deflect the queen. So we have 2 candidates. Either we enter into queen e6, kh7 line and see what happens, or go straight away into the move rook d8, try to deflect the queen and see what happens. And then try queen e6. So white does that, he goes into the line rook d8, qd8, queen e6, king h7, king lacks space. Most people are able to solve this position very easily. I hope you must have found the move rook h6 there, crushing instantly, g takes h6 forced, and see qf7 check. These all I am using the old techniques which I have taught sacrifice check when king has no place, looking at the checks, destroying the defender, deflection, how to ask the question, find the weakness. All these videos I have done many of them on that. And finally, as I said, we don't want to miss any variation. So to rook d8, we should look at kh7 before we just play the move. So this is what helps us during the game. We should not miss the opponent's move, just not think that his move is forced. Especially in a non-forced position, the play or choosing the line is very hard. My next lesson will be based on that. So that is why I am doing these positions with forced moves first. Then unforced moves are more difficult to handle. And that is why what happens, people those who solve positions easily cannot take decisions well in the game, because there the moves are not always forced. We don't have white to play and win during the game all the time. So what happens here, see, after rook d8, kh7, rook h6, gh, qe7 check, the king has to come to g6, and you see that h5 checkmates. Okay, let's see. Rook d8 check, q d8, queen e6 check, kh7, rook h6, ph, qf7 check. Do check out my previous lesson where I played 2 games and I tried to use this kind of thing in my actual games. So those games will help you how we can use tactics in our own games. I have got 2 gambits in that, one Mora gambit and one the Scandinavian, which I have been teaching. To let me know how you found those. Okay, so this is the first line, and the second one is, if see, after rook d8, king h7, then also see rook h6, gh, queen h6, queen e7, kg6 and h5 mates. Let's go to the third one. So we have this third position with us, white to play and win once again. This position is bit easy, but there is a very important underlying pattern here. White goes for some incredible tactics here. See, 2 knights and the queen near the king. King lacks space, means instantly we should have the idea of mothered mate in our mind. If we look at the candidate moves, actually just 2 or 3, because see, qg8 very important element. Knight g6 check could be there, and other captures are just too slow. See, bishop c4 will allow knight e5. Okay, qd7 will then allow be5 or bishop c4. So we should force things. White looks into the move qg8 and he gets the solution very quickly. It's a game position. See, after qg8, rook g8, then nf7 mate, and there is only other variation, that is kg8, that makes the position bit easy. Okay, but after kg8 there are 2 checks, knight e7 and knight f6. Do try to check in both. But let me tell you, I saw the move ne7 check when I first saw the position. Very logical one, because see, after kh8 and f7 mates, and after kf8 it looks like the knights hang now, but it's a mating pattern, so I got it very quickly. There is the knight g6 check. Let's see the moves. This one is pretty easy. Knight e7 check, king f8, king h8 allows knight f7 mate. So now see, any knight to g6 this time, hg forced and see in g6 mate. The bishop on c4 was deadly. But this is the purpose of doing this lesson. See, the move knight f6 also mates. To try to calculate accurately, it looks like the king escapes. See, after knight f6, king f8 again forced, kh8 allows knight f7 mate. So knight goes to h7 with a check, king has to come to e7, and there too you will see the move rook d7 check. See, I am filtering through the checks. There were some other checks also. Knight c6 check was also there. Let's see. Knight f6, king f8, knight check, ke7, and see here the move knight c6 check as well. And this is also mate. So this is how we should try to find moves. It helps us improve our game significantly. Okay, let's go to the last position now. In today's lesson, you must have noted some positions are easy and some are a bit complicated. The reason I have done this purposely, so that after solving difficult positions, what happens? Many people think that the next is also difficult and they switch on to different modes. That should not happen. We should try to solve the position same way. Again, see, white to play and win. Many checks look attractive. The point is, see, black is threatening a mate in 1 and plus the queen is attacked. So white needs to force things. There are, see, queen c8 check, rook f8 check, rook takes g7 check. Just having the moves at hand, see, makes the task so much easier. Queen c8, you see, after kh7 we cannot come back with qf5. The rook on f2 is there. and there rook g7 would allow qg7 after king comes to h7. The other move, instant rook f8, looks very good because see queen takes f8, then rook takes g7, but see again in that qg7, bg7, and see rook takes f5 is there. So finally we have the move rook g7 check, the one which has more options actually. Rook f8, see forced q f8, but it didn't work here. So we look at the move rook g7 where there are two options. In fact, three. Queen takes g7, king takes g7, and king h8. But you see that king h8 then queen h7 just mates. So kg7 and qg7 are there. And to look at kg7, it's very easy. You just use qg6 check, force the king to h8, and next move see rook f8 mates. Let's look at this. Rook g7, king takes g7, qg6, king h8, and rook f8 checkmate. It's a double check. Means the line rook g7 is forced, but what happens here is many people do what they, after seeing the move qg7, leave the position instantly thinking now see there are no checks. But we should not be in so much haste. King has no place. If you try to use the technique both ways, you will see attackers are more than defenders over the king, plus king lacks space. That is the move which we found previously, the move rook f8 check after qg7. There you see queen f8 is forced and qg6 decides. See, it makes the task very easy. Takes, check, queen g7 and qg7 checkmate. So overall the positions were of mixed level, not very difficult, but I thought it will be useful to implement the technique what we are learning. I hope you are finding these lessons useful. Do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.